So in this video, I would like to now show you how you can do the same thing that I showed you in the other video using the mirror filter in Photo, but combining it with Affinity Publisher if you have both softwares. So for this to work, you have to own both Affinity Publisher and Photo. And the advantage of using this is if you want to create a multi-page coloring book for Etsy or Amazon or your own website, if you use Publisher, you can make it as many pages as you like. So when you open Publisher, at the top you'll see that it has these three buttons here, which are called the persona buttons. And if you have Designer, you can use that one. And here you'll see the photo persona. So if we click that button, you'll notice what happens is down the side, you now get all the same tools that you had in Photo. And also across the top, we now have the same tabs here that we can access the filters like we did in Photo. So we'll go again to a File, New Document. And now with Publisher, this is used to make books, where with Photo, we use the illustration of a stack of papers. In Publisher, we can create multiple pages. So we could make it a 20-page book. Over here on the right where it says number of pages, you can type in whatever number you like, a 30-page, 60-page. And then this facing pages, that can be handy if you want to see it as a two-page spread, or you can also turn that off. And again, just like the margins, you can set them now, but you can also turn these settings off in Publisher. So I'm going to do again, letter size, 8.5 by 11, 300 DPI. And I like to use the image placement, prefer embedded. The other option is prefer linked. But with that, you have to make sure you keep the pictures in the same folder, and you've got to be really organized. So I tend to stick with the prefer embedded, but that can end up making your file size for the Affinity software file quite large. So we'll click Create, and again, we'll go to File, and we'll place a picture like we did before. And where I have the snapping on, so it will center it when I place it. So when I open it, I'm back in the Publisher persona. So I'll click over to Photo. And now you see I can access the filters. And it's the same process as we did before. I would rename the picture. And then I'd use Control-J to make some copies. I'll go up to Filter, Distort, and Mirror. And again, it works the exact same way because it's using the same tools as Photo. So I pick different pictures. I would name them just to make it easier for my workflow, but I will just do a few here just to quickly show you. I'll just do one more. So again, filter, distort, and mirror. And again, you can use the dial to spin it around and get different pictures as well. So now, with Publisher, I have more pages than one. Down here at the bottom left, we can see I'm on page 1 of 30. And so you can stay in the photo persona, or you can go back to the Publisher. If you go back to the Publisher, it does give you access to another panel called Pages. Again, if that's not showing, you go up to View and Studio and make sure Pages has a check mark. Now I left the facing pages on. So when I go to the next spread, you'll see here, it always leaves the first page as your front page single, but then if you have facing pages selected, you're going to see both. So if you're putting a coloring image on each page, this helps you see how they are lined up. So if I go back to where I created these other, I'm going to turn them back on. So I can select this layer, and I can go Control+C or Edit, Copy, and then I advance to the next spread down here at the bottom with these arrows. And now if I go Control+V, it puts it on the page, and I'll go back and grab the next one down. So I turn off the top layer so I can see the next picture. I make sure that's selected. I go Control+C, and then now it's Control+V to paste or Edit, Paste. And now it's put it on the same side, but I can click on that and drag it over. If I hold the Shift key, it will drag it in line with the other. And so this is how the facing pages work, that you can see both of these. To turn that off, if you click off outside the document and go to Document Setup, here under the Layout tab, you can turn off facing pages, and then you will see it just as a single page document. But if you look over again in this Pages tab up here, you can see now they're all single pages. And so in this way, you can work your way through. So I'm back on my first page where I created all of these, and I can turn that one off and then take the next one, Control+C, copy, advance to the next page and put it there. Alternatively, I could just start on a page, place a picture, and get it to line up, and I can copy it with the Control+J. Now again, I want to be in the photo persona here at the top. I want to click on the photo persona button, and that will bring up the filters menu. And then I can distort and add the mirrors to that one. And I can change it there. And then I could just take the original and then go to the next page, Control+V it again, Control+C to copy, Control+V to paste, and then again added the filter here, but I would have to go back and forth to try and remember which one I used before. So that's why I find it easier to just stack them all on one page and then just take each one and copy them. And that's how you could do it as a multi-page document. And so in this case, then when you go to File, Export, and you have your PDF, again, select Flatten. Here you have all pages. And here you can leave this blank. And if you export this, then it will export all 30 pages in one single PDF. But you can also do just certain pages. Like you could do like even pages. So you could type 2, 4, 6, and that will just export pages 2, 4, and 6. Now, if you have the facing pages back on, there's one thing to note. This is back under Document Setup, Layout, Facing Pages. This time when you go to export, I'll just go back to show you the facing pages here. So now File, Export. In this case, you want to make sure that you choose here in the area, not spreads, but pages. If you do it as a spread, it will put this whole 2 pages as one page, and it won't work right for Etsy or KDP. So you want to make sure you've selected all pages. And again, then you just export it, type in your name, and it will export that as a PDF. And I'll just show if I can find the share button. New share. So now here's the PDF, and when I click on that, it will open it up as a multi-page PDF. So here in my PDF reader, you can see it's got 30 pages, which you can scroll through and see them all. And it does save the blank ones, so you want to make sure you have all of the pages filled that you want to use.